Well, what a wonderful surprise. Those tracks we had running down the boundary and heading north into Buffelshoek were, of course, of the 3 Avoca males. And now we're with some proper male lions. The 3 of 4 Birmingham Boys. They're all lying quite flat, so it's quite difficult to see which individuals are here. But it seems like they didn't even have to fight to send the 3 little Avocas dashing off to the north. They're looking very, very comfortable. They've covered quite a long distance over the last couple of days. As I said, 3 or 4 days ago, they were about 27 kilometers away, right down in the south of Londolozi, near Sabi Sabi. Lisa says, is there any speculation to why the Birmingham Boys are back? This is part of their territory, Lisa. So even though they're trying to extend their territory down to the south and gather more prides, if they heard and were close enough to hear those Avoca males roaring, they would have seen that as a threat to their current cubs with the Inkahumas, with the sticks, so they would have come back to see them off. Now, this might not be the end of this battle, as we know, like it happened with the Birminghams and the Matimbas. It was a couple of months of back and forth before the Birminghams actually took over from the Matimbas. So I still think that these guys are in a lot better state than the Matimbas were. They're still in their prime, around 9-10 years old, well, just actually 8-9 years old, whereas the Matimbas were well over 10-11 by the time the Birminghams arrived. And also 5 versus 2 back then. Now it's 3 versus 5. Oh, so 3 versus 4, sorry. Because, of course, one of the Birminghams died from a wound from a buffalo. So it's likely that these Birminghams will be around to stay. The only time that they might not come back is if they decide that there's more females, and in the south, in the center of the Sabi Sands, around the Sand River, and there's not much competition in terms of male lion coalitions down in that area of the Sabi Sands, so they might just sort of almost give up. Oh, everyone's a bit jumpy. One shakes the head, everyone jumps up. And of course, that's because there have been other male lions in the area. Now, who is that? Is that Tinyo? Let's have a look. It looks... I can't really see. Yes, it looks like Tinyo. But I haven't seen these guys in a long time. Oh, they are hungry. Hungry, hungry, hungry. And, I mean, look at that. He's almost got a greyhound belly on him. I just heard from Tax there's a small herd of buffalo not too far away. I saw their tracks as well while I was heading down here. And he's just moving spots. But that is a hungry male lion. It's not often you see male lions that hungry. So, which sort of leads me to believe that they'd almost certainly heard the Avocas calling once they moved slightly up into the northern sections, and they would have they would have run. So they will run into an area if they hear opposing male lions in the area and charge straight in to get rid of them. In this case, I think the sound of their roars was enough to send the Avocas dashing off, but normally it might even end up in a fight. As I said, if the Avoca boys were probably a year older, they might have hung around to see if they could have matched these 3. But I think at the moment, the Avoca boys are another couple of months away from challenging the Birminghams, if challenging the Birminghams at all. They are beautiful male lions, this lot. And after seeing the Avocas over the last while, you can see the difference in the mane and the age, how far more developed these lions are. I'm just going to move the car a little bit. Hello, big boy. Now, of course, we saw the Avoca males scent mark, and they've been roaring. So it's interesting. And Jared's buddy says, well, why would they scent mark and then dash off? The thing is that they thought there was a gap, and as all opportunistic creatures. So I'm just trying to turn down my game drive radio. It's got a bit loud. There we go. All right, so the Birminghams haven't been up in the north for quite some time. They haven't been vocal. So the Vocas would have possibly heard them when they started coming down, but at a distance, and thought, well, you know, these guys aren't really around. And if they could easily sort of snatch a territory from a single male or two males, or even an area that's devoid of males for the moment, they would have. So they took a bit of a chance. As I say, I don't think this story is over. I think the Vocas are still going to be around for a while. It's just going to be very interesting to see if the Birminghams really push forward their advantage and get rid of them completely, or we're going to start having a sort of little dance-off as those Vocas grow in confidence. And apart from being a bit hungry, they're looking... Well, I hope Tristan's right, but I don't think so. I think they've covered a huge amount of distance last night to get here. I think they're probably going to be on the quiet side this morning. Now, for those of you who are listening to the dam cam last night, there was an incredible amount of noise between the different roaring coalitions of male lions. And First Lady is asking, can they damage their vocal cords while roaring? No, their vocal cords are specially designed for roaring. They've got the hyoid apparatus, which is a bone in their throat. That is, in small cats, it is a solid piece of bone, but in big cats, in the Panthera family, it's cartilage, so that vibrates. So they push air over that cartilage, which vibrates, which enables them to create those incredible sounds. So no, they don't damage their vocal cords while roaring. They can damage their vocal cords while fighting, however, and that's obviously from being bitten by another male, and that's one of the evolutionary advantages of having a mane. It's to protect their throat and that vulnerable area under their throat, where there's obviously their vocal cords and carotid artery, lots of things you don't want another lion's canine going through. Now, one thing is definitely out and about after the rain, and it's a lot of the little biting flies. And so far, the lions seem to be able to ignore them. But they seem to be attacking me and Seb rather than the lions this morning. All the lions have just got used to it. Now, of course, we've got 3 out of 4 here. And Ben, who's 9 years old, says, where is the 4th Birmingham boy? Ben, I have no idea. Somewhere to the south of us. He could have got left behind. He could have got sidetracked by a lady. I have no idea where the 4th Birmingham is currently. They are very, very flat cats at the moment. Now, of course, a lion's roar is a hugely important communicative tool. It tells lions lots of different things. And JC says, can other lions tell the age and number by the roar? The number, most definitely, they can hear that there's 3 males from the roar. Age, I'm not sure. Confidence, definitely. So it might not even be the age, but the confidence of the roar in terms of the Birminghams coming back would have probably been enough to see off those young evokers for now. I'm pretty sure one is definitely Tinyo. I'm not sure about the other two. Now that noise you might hear in the background it sounds like someone's getting an early start on working on the roads on a Sunday morning. It sounds like someone's scraping some dirt out of a quarry. So he said, I've just spotted something I want to have a look at. Tawny eagle behind us who's just landed in the tree. We're going to try and show you this tawny eagle quickly. It's in beautiful light. I just saw it flying over behind us to land in the dead tree. And off it goes again. Beautiful. Lovely camera work, Sebastian. Okay. Well, a slightly interesting view of the lions. They've just been so completely flat. The only movement this lion has made is to roll his head backwards and sort of find a slightly more comfortable spot. Now, I think these boys are, as I said, have covered a lot of distance overnight last night to get to this area around where the evokers were, to chase them off and to make sure that their rain in the north is still secure. Now, as I said, they've covered a long distance, probably easily 10 or 15 kilometers overnight, and Vegas Beauty is wondering about lions' jogging prowess. Can they run for long distances or just short bursts? They can lope a sort of half jog for very long distances. I've seen them do it for up to 10 kilometers, but after doing that, they are very, very tired, as you can see with this lot this morning. Busy night for the Birmingham Boys. As I said, I don't think they're going to be up to too much more, and while it's cool, we don't want to waste the good tracking.
I'm doing a little bit of maneuvering, so you're going to have to stand by for like 2 seconds. I'll be with y'all in a minute. Going very slowly, because I don't want to be too close. David, are we getting into the shade, man? I'm not doing a very good job, hey? Shh, lions. I'm sorry. I'll just be a minute. I have to do this. They're sleeping, but they've all got their eyes on me. I'm trying to get David and I into the shade, because otherwise we're going to get 3rd-degree sunburn if we sit out here. Or at least David can be in the shade. Is that a bit better? Have you got some dappled lighting on you? Okay. You're not completely in the shade, but it's better than the view we had before. But yay! I've got to do it quietly because I can't scare the lions. I'm very excited to see 3 monstrous boys. Now, jumping straight into the questions. Thanks, Tex, for holding off while I was reversing and maneuvering the vehicle. And it's from Swapna. Hello, Swapna. You've just asked about the coloration of lions, and you're actually wondering whether the male lions' coats are darker than the females. And the answer to that is yes. When they get older, typically, again, it's dependent as to how much testosterone is being produced by the specific individual. So when they get older, their coats almost go like a more of a dark grey in colour. It's quite nice to see, where the females are a lot more tawny. Again, manes with lines, it's dependent to their genetics. So some get really nice dark manes, others will have a blonde mane. It doesn't really mean much at all. David, you know what I've done, and I feel really terrible. Sometimes I'm really not a nice person. Do you know why? Remember how earlier we were at Chitwa and we decided to pick some guari bushes? And because I wanted the fruit and also fly swatter, I feel very guilty. I'm going to try to give you some light. If you zoom in there, in that gap, can you see the little spider web? Let me put some light on. Here we go. You can see the little web, can you? Now, there's actually a teeny tiny little spider just above that fruit there. Try and turn it again. And it's got an egg sac. I'm so sorry, little spider. I did not mean to do that. That was not my intention. I will try and rehome you. I feel really bad. Can you imagine? Oh no. Oh, well, I'll eat the fruit off of the berry branch and then I'll try and wedge it in a tree. So maybe I'll have to cable tie it back onto a guari tree. I think we're going to have to do that, David. And then to give the spider a chance. I'm so sorry. I didn't destroy your web, but I just took you away. I hope you and your babies will be fine. You and your babies will be fine. I'll put you in the shade so you don't burn to death from the sun like we are. Rebecca says at least they have each other. Oh, thanks, Bex. That's very kind of you. We need to now find a hairy guari, of course, because here they seem to just be Natalensis and Divinorums. Wrong ones. Right, Birmingham Boys, I don't even know who we have here at the moment. I cannot tell you which lion is which when they're laying face down on the ground. Where's my binoculars? I've lost them already. No, I haven't. I put them under my jersey because I can see a couple of little faces every now and then. And they do have, of course, special identification. Like, I wonder if Nana's here. He's got an equal sign on his nose. But I can't see any of their schnozzes. So, these are just 3 of them. We're missing one Birmingham male. No, I don't know who's here. Oh, well, that's fine. We can find out a little bit later. And did Brent say anything about them eating a buffalo? Because they've got some round bellies and lots of buffalo tracks going up and down here. They definitely were chasing them around at some point. And from what I could hear, it sounds like the buffalo are actually in Buffelshoek now, that same herd that we've been seeing. And remember, yesterday we were playing a game. We were trying to guess as to which dam the buffalo were going to drink at. They obviously, I suppose, they could have been chased from a little bit further away, hey? We decided that we were going to go to Vuyatela Dam, Twin Dams, Treehouse Dam, or Chele Pan. And if those Birminghams had come from Mala Mala, like our sources had told us, they could, I don't know where they entered from. I don't know which side of the property they came onto. I didn't specifically see any tracks coming in. I could have chased them. They were going south, the buffalo, so they could have been chased back up to the north easily by the Birmingham Boys or the Avoca males. They're definitely, I wonder if they're still around or where they've been chased. I don't think anyone's found them today. But still quite nice to see them. And Ravinda, you were wondering exactly that. Where are the Avoca males? Are they still on the property? Whew. Maybe. I doubt it. If those Birminghams were calling and calling and calling, you've heard how powerful those roars are in comparison to the young Avoca males who are still trying to find their voices. I don't think they cause any tremblings like when these 3 start having a roar. So I think that they would have headed for the hills. I reckon they would have gone back towards the Manuleti. In my opinion, I think they would have gone back north. That's where they've come from. That's where they know they feel relatively safe. Remember, they haven't quite explored Djuma just yet, so there's a lot of parts of the reserve that they're unfamiliar with. I don't think they'd necessarily be moving into those areas. They'd rather go back towards the spot that they've come from and they know a little bit better, so that they have an advantage of sorts, although, again, the Birminghams are well experienced in this area, not just on Djuma, but in Buffelshoek and Torchwood and all the way through the Manuleti back up to the Timbavati. Now, as we sit and we watch these lions fast asleep, I swear I could hear one snoring at one point. Ravinda, you said to do the lion, not Ravinda. Was it Ravinda again? No, it wasn't. Wisteria. Wisteria had basically just asked if lions dream. Well, sometimes you see them twitching their paws. Definitely. I think they are. I'm sure they're dreaming about that buffalo that they missed. I mean, it's very difficult for, of course, us to be able to give an accurate answer because none of us are lions. We don't know the real answer to these things. But I definitely think so. Oh, Aubrey's just arrived with his guests. The photographers are going to be super excited for these flat lions. It's not exactly a photographer's dream right now, hey, David? Not even a filmmaker's dream. Unless you were doing a program about the sleeping habits of lions, then yes, perhaps. Look at them, they only open their eyes and just stare at us. They don't even put their heads up when we arrive. It's very upsetting. Very, very upsetting. Oh, this is not a massive sleeping lion. This is Maurice. Hang on, David. I'm going to change position. I'm going to make him stand now. Stand properly. I'm going to put... There he is. Look at him in his new dress. It's not a dress. We've decided it's a kaftan. It's quite nice, hey? Very sort of Kenyan colours as well. The yellow, the blues and greens. I don't know if his scarf matches, though. Perhaps he'll need to get a different coloured scarf to go with this outfit. Who wants to knit Maurice a new scarf? Who can knit in camp? Can Rebecca? I feel like Mother Rebecca can knit. Hey, Bex, can you knit? I don't know why, but I feel like you could. I know, apparently Bex is absolutely hopeless at knitting, so we won't be asking her because, you know, Maurice is quite fussy and he only likes the nicest of nice things. Oh, you and your ego. Ooh! Alicia! Perfect. Alicia's helping Rebecca direct today. And remember, she was the one who had the soaked oats yesterday as a snack in the afternoon. She said that she can actually knit scarves, and only scarves. Well, perfect. It's not a very big one. Let's lift his trunk up. Oh, that was stupid, Taylor. We'll do that one. I've got two hands. There's his scarf. It's not very big. Probably could undo it a little bit and show you nicely. So it's only about probably only need about 4 strands of wool. You could have a whole outfit. You could practice on Maurice, seeing as though Maurice is also a knitted elephant. So yes, that is Maurice's new clothes. Also, it's not supposed to be clothes. I just got it and I thought, well, I think Maurice would like it. Seeing as though winter's coming up, he might have to get a pair of Ugg boots too. Maybe we can knit booties to keep his toes warm. Although he doesn't have any toes. It's a strange looking elephant, this one. But anyways, lions, I don't blame you for doing this because it's exceptionally hot. Now, I reckon you're going to be here for most of the day. Now, here's a tricky one. It's from Justin, and it basically referring back to what parasites you can find in or on a lion. Now, I'm not actually familiar with any parasites that are host specific for lions. So basically, if all the lions in the world went extinct, this parasite would disappear with them too. I know that there is one on hippos, and I've spoken about it before, called the ocular tremor, which is a type of a parasite that lives in the eyes of the hippos and essentially can make them go blind. And that is host specific. If there are no more hippos in the world, that parasite will go extinct with the hippos. I don't know if there's any for lions. I need to have a look. The only problem is that a lot of this information isn't available to the public. You need to be a part of a university so that you have access to, sort of research papers. Well, I suppose, I mean, the best thing would be is if we could actually have access to Onderstepoort, which is the big veterinary university in South Africa, the only veterinary university in South Africa. If we could have access to sort of their libraries, it would be quite interesting. A friend of mine, he's a wildlife vet. He's actually just been writing an article about white muscle disease, in fact. And it's taken him a little bit of a while, but he was waiting for the vets who did the autopsies on that one cub to get the actual, the report from that autopsy, which I think is quite cool. So I'm quite looking forward. For once, I wasn't telling long tales, Brent. That was the truth. There is another parasite. I don't only know about parasites. I really know about parasites and hippos because I told you I got to be part of a dissection of a hippopotamus, and we had a parasite specialist from the University of Limpopo, and he was really cool. I told you about him. He looked like Gru from, what's that movie? Monsters, Inc.? No, Gru, the Minion. What's the Minion movie? Minions? Anyone? Despicable Me, Go Jerry, saving us there. Yes, that's one. Despicable Me. That's the movie I'm talking about. This guy sounded and looked like Gru. He wasn't as big though. He was maybe like a 5'8" version of Gru, not like 6'4", however tall he was. So yeah, so that happened. And he was so cool. I was so fascinated by him. I'm sad I don't have all those videos that I took of him anymore. I do, they're on my computer. I just don't carry my computer with me on Safari. So yeah, so that's why I know a little bit more. My other favorite parasite that lives on a hippopotamus is the one that lives in the anus. It's a leech. It lives, and they call it the love tunnel because that is where they mate. These leeches. It's the most ridiculous thing ever. I promise you though, it's true though. It's totally true. But David's now laughing hysterically. He had to lock the camera off so that he could do a knee slapping laugh off the side of the car. But I'll try and find those videos because you need to see it. It's so great. So we'll see if we can, if I can dig them all up. But I can't think of anything in specific for these lions other than sort of ticks and things like that. Well, Her Wolf, you've just joined the show. Welcome. Hello. Yes, it's a live safari. Now you've asked if these lions in front of us, these three big boys, are dead. No. They're actually alive, believe it or not. They just look dead at the moment because their bellies are so full and it is so hot. I don't actually know what the temperature is, but it's my favorite game, the guessing game. I'm going to say it's at least 26 degrees Celsius, maybe 27 already, at least. It's hot. And we want to play soccer after the game drive this morning. That is going to be interesting. We might not make it for the Sunset Safari, as we'll all have heat stroke. But anyways, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We'll all start thinking, oh my goodness, I'm so good. It's 26 degrees Celsius. I don't know what the conversion is, but I'm going to go 74 degree Fahrenheit. So yes, so they're just tired and sleepy at the moment, and this is typically what big male lions, not even big male lions, any kind of lion will do, unless you're only a few months old, then you'll be harassing the adults. So yeah, so just fast asleep at the moment, enjoying the shade, enjoying the breeze. I'm going, because I got the conversion wrong. It's 79 degree Fahrenheit, not 74. I'm good at guessing in degrees Celsius though. That's quite nice. That's why I always tell the directors that they're lying to us when Google gives us a temperature. And I'm like, no, it's wrong. Because I think I've got a fairly good statistic in terms of being right for guessing the temperature. So if I had just had a big meal and I wasn't working, I'd probably be doing the same thing as the lions, but perhaps I would have positioned myself in front of the pool with a beverage of sorts and out in the sun, tanning. That's probably what I would be doing if I was on holiday right now, like these cats seem to be, although they didn't come here for a holiday. They've marched themselves all the way from Mala, which is a distance away, to chase out the young Avoca males, which are 3 young males that have just moved into the area, or they tried to. We don't know if there was an altercation between the two coalitions. I would imagine if the Avoca males saw these 3 big boys with big manes and muscles prancing towards them, they'd probably run with their tails between their legs. I mean, 3 of these guys versus 3 youngsters, like I said, experience goes a long way out here in the bush, and this is the home turf of the Birmingham Boys. We were just chatting about it earlier. Those Avoca males do not know this property very well. So, good luck to them, but hopefully they go elsewhere, because I quite like the Birminghams. They are lovely cats. Excuse me. I had a combination of hiccups and then wanting to cough. I just hope that doesn't happen again. That was a weird feeling. Have you ever had that, David? No, you don't want to have it. I don't know what. It was terrible. I thought my brain was going to explode, come out of my ears at one point. I think the sun is making me crazy, more crazy than I already am. Yeah, I don't have one of those, Rebecca. Oh, we've got racing stripes coming past you. Hello. Someone driving past, not anybody in a safari vehicle. Probably wondering, why is this woman looking at the grass? Because you wouldn't be able to see the lines from the road, that's for sure. But yeah, very, very relaxed kitty cats. I think we may leave these cats though. I think we're going to go elsewhere and see what else we can find. But it's been very nice just to have a little catch up with the Birminghams. Brent, however, is Ferrari safaring as fast as he can for the last minutes of the show to show you Hosanna one last time.